Today I'm going to share you my Barnes & Noble book haul. Check this out. Today I wanted to share my Barnes & Noble book haul. I'm from Canada, so my version of Barnes & Noble is more of Chapters Indigo. I just get so excited to go to Barnes & Noble because they always have like a bigger selection, especially getting this in Barnes & Noble right in the heart of Manhattan, New York City. And I thought it was so cool to just be there. If I had more space in my luggage, I'd probably get 5 or 10 more books, but I didn't have as much space, which was fine because I was able to search it up based on what I can see online. But even with the American prices versus Canadian, I was just grateful I was able to get these books. So the first book on my haul is How to Attract Money. Again, I've told people who've watched my channel before is that when I go into a bookstore, whether it be Barnes & Noble, whether it be Chapters in Canada, whether it be even on Amazon, it just pops up, or a used bookstore, thrift store that pops up, I'll pick it up. And 99% of the time I'll most likely buy it if I have a good feeling about it. And this was one of them. I've read a few of Joseph Murphy's books, especially the first one, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. That was a big one because that was one of my that was towards the beginning of my personal development reading books 20 years ago. Yeah, this is really good. It's a thin book, but I've already got a lot of nuggets of gold and I've only got it for $10 US. I know it's like $13 Canadian, but it's just a really good book. And there's one thing I read here is that I even wrote down best idea because I will be writing my 5 best ideas on this, is every time we resent another or are jealous or envious of another's wealth or success, we are actually not stealing from them, we are stealing from ourselves. We're stealing from our own abundance, our own wealth, stealing from our own feeling of being that we can get that as well. He doesn't explain here, but I can see energetically. Because energetically, if you're so focused on the jealousy of someone else's success or wealth, the universe is saying, oh, you're jealous of that. I'll give you more things to be jealous of and give you lack of whatever you want. Isn't that so interesting? So yeah, it's always good to have abundance, be happy for people's success, and also make sure that, you believe in yourself as well. Also, if you have not yet, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And the next book on my haul at Barnes & Noble is The Hermetica, The Lost Wisdoms of the Pharaohs. I thought it was so interesting. The moment when I saw it, I saw it sticking out of the bookshelf and it was The Lost Wisdom of Pharaohs. And it is like the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets by Hermes. It's very similar to that knowledge. So far, so a good read. When I'm reading it, a lot of it is more of, it's interesting. It feels like it's a poetry, like the initiation of Hermes, autumn, and it is good energy. I'm just still trying to wrap my head around what they kind of mean. It is a good book so far. The best starting book on if you want to learn about the history or Lost Wisdom of Pharaohs is the Kabbalion. This is a good intro, and yeah, this is a good. The next book I got is The Science of the Mind, and this is the 1926 version. And it looks like there are 2 books in here, the complete original edition. It has The Science of the Mind, and the second book is called Creating a Life of Possibilities. I like how they do say it's the 1926 edition so that it's not been changed. And I know with old texts, it wasn't I guess it was long ago, but when you think of the Kabbalion was 1,000 years ago versus this 100 years ago, I do prefer the real text. I know it could be hard to read, but if you can just not read word for word, but kind of scan it, I mentioned, I learned a new technique where you read, instead of reading 1 word per word, you're reading 2 to 5 to 4 words, and you're just reading it fast. And I was able to actually comprehend more with that way, especially with this old language. It's not hardcore old, it's just the way that they describe things. So, The Science of the Mind. The next book I got is The Palladian Soul Healing. For any of those starseeds who understand what a starseed is, starseed is a belief in that you come from the essence of stars. Scientists have done DNA testing where humans, they do have the DNA of starlight in their DNA or stardust. I thought it was so cool just to pick this book up. I went to the self-transformation section. I thought that was so cool that Barnes & Noble has that. In Chapters in Canada, we have a well-being, and they change it to personal personal growth. That's pretty good, but I think self-transformation is so cool because it's not just like helping yourself. You actually like want to help transform yourself like to the better. You know, I thought about that. It's just, yeah, it's just been a topic and just a thing I've been thinking about lately, and just hearing even like Eminem's new CD called The Death of Some Shady. It's more of like the death of his old person. Like I thought about that. Like I even thought about my old death of my old person. I felt like I shed that away the last year, early last year. I was like shedding away the old Vicki, and like I have like the new Vicki. So I digress. Anyways, so far such a good book. And the last book on my haul, which I thought was cool to get because I was in America, is The Secret Destiny of America. The Secrets of Destiny of America and America's Assignments with Destiny. Manly P. Hall. He's an individual who's also written the book The Secret of the Ages, Freemasonry. So he has cool esoteric ideas. When I started reading this book, I thought it was so interesting how they do talk about ancient Egypt, how they were the first democracy, how it influenced America, and just how there are so many other different societies before Christopher Columbus. If you're into that kind of stuff, I highly recommend reading this. Again, I will do my 5 best ideas on all these books that I share. Thanks for watching my book haul. See you in the next video.